Welcome to day 3, everyone. I'm happy that you're here today to talk about the fruits of the Spirit. So I hope that you've taken a minute to just read through Galatians 5 verses 22 and 23 to get you started as we explore what are the fruits of the Spirit. So you think about what the fruits of the Spirit are, and when I think of them in their most basic truth of what they are the very character traits of God, the creator of the universe, the one who made us. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, all of these character traits that we see in our God, they're not things that God just does for us or things that he offers to us. They are who he is. They make God who God is. So if you really think about that for a minute, that's just an amazing thought. I wish when people looked at me, they said, Angie, well, she is love, or she is patience. That will never happen. I wish that would happen, but it's never going to happen. But just think about that. Each of these traits that we strive to have as Christians, these are the things that make God God. So when we see the fruits lived out in those around us, it's amazing to think that when you see love, like when you look at a mother looking at her baby with just pure love, like that is who God is. And that is just a gift that we get to experience here. And I just think that is so amazing to think about. And we oftentimes will see the fruits of the Spirit in times that we don't understand it. The world is sometimes a chaotic, a scary, a dangerous place, but yet sometimes through the midst of all of the hardest things that we experience, God offers us grace and peace and things that just don't make sense. Like how in certain situations you can just look at everything happening in a person's life and you think, how does she remain so calm? That's God. There's no other explanation for that. And I just think that's such an amazing thought. So as you reflect personally on the fruits of the Spirit today, I really encourage you to get your thoughts down on paper. It's just so neat to be able to look back and see how God has been working on the little things in your life, like where he's shown you grace when you didn't expect it, or when you felt love when you really didn't feel it. That's God working through you. And I have found the easiest way for me to be able to do these things in my own journaling time is through what I call cluster journaling. There might be other names for it too, but we have a printable for you. You can download this to your computer and you can print these up for yourself, or you can just use it as a guideline for your writing if you're going to do journal writing. You can use this just as a way to pray. But what I do is I encourage you to kind of go through these 6 steps and just see if you can get pen to paper of how God's working in your life. I was just going to show you that I did this a few years ago. My page looks a little bit different. A friend of mine printed this out and gave this to me as a gift. And when I took the time to actually confess what was on my heart that day, it's so freeing to put my prayer on paper. Because oftentimes when I'm praying quietly, I try to remain focused, but my mind does tend to wander sometimes. And so when I really want to speak with God, I have found that through my pen and paper, I'm able to really focus on God and what he's trying to tell me. So I would take time and I was confessing, I was writing things different ways that I could see God working in my life or the life of people around me. And this is from a couple of years ago, but when I'm looking at it now, I'm looking at it thinking, wow, like I completely forgot about that little insignificant thing that happened that day. But now as I look back, I can see that God really was doing some amazing things. That was the start of something else that he was doing in my life. So today in your own quiet time, I just encourage you just to sit there and think about the fruits of the Spirit. Just say them over and over in your head. Or like, here's an example of what I just did the other day in my paper journal. I just wrote, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. And I circled each one of those as I reflected on what love is, what joy is, what faithfulness is. And then, of course, I have my other little thoughts scattered around there because that is how my mind works. But every single time I write things down, I see a different way that God is speaking to me through it. So I just encourage you now as you turn off whatever you're watching this video on, your computer or your phone, wherever you're seeing this video, turn it off, pull out your pen, and just start to talk to God. So now just take a few minutes and reflect on God's goodness, how He's working in your life, and where you see these fruits of the Spirit and His character traits working in the world around you. You'll be encouraged when you're finished. You're going to hear something from God that you didn't hear before, and you're going to be able to look back, even if it's just a week down the road or 2 weeks down the road, you're going to be able to look back and see God working in a very, very visible and physical way in the world around you. So I hope that you're as encouraged by this exercise as I always am, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. See you soon.